Martin, you were in one of my first ever interviews.
Really?
Piggy. Years ago. And I remember it because you're the only person that's ever made me a cup of tea.
That
only person
tracks.
ever.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
That's the
I
kind
went
of
in
guy
and you just
he
went, "Do you want a
is.
cup of tea?" I was like, "Are they all like this?" 10 years later, no.
No, they're not.
Was it a good cup of tea?
It was a good
alright?
cup of tea. Yeah. It was a good cup of tea.
That takes me back.
Yeah, in Abundant. It was like it was in an office. It was upstairs in a place.
Yeah. It was such a funny genesis that film. Though. I was just speaking with Kieran Hawkes the other day, the director. Kieran's still a friend, Neil Maskell and stuff. But it was actually because I got that while I was doing that. His work because I was staying in accent. I didn't do the interview in accent, did I?
No.
I was staying in accent, and that's when I got the audition for Line of Duty. So if I wasn't doing Piggy, I wouldn't have got that because I was already in that voice, you know.
Yeah, and Line of Duty's done quite well.
It's done alright.
So this is another great show. I really enjoyed the Rig. What was it? I've seen the first 2 episodes. What was it when you first got the scripts that made you go, "Yes, I have to get involved in this"?
I mean, for me, it was definitely my character of Rose. I just loved this woman in going into this man's world and really not caring if she's liked and just like very myopic in her work, which I feel like I am a lot, and also the kind of scale of the story. It was kind of epic to me. So. Also, the chance to go to Scotland for 6 months was very nice.
No, same. Honestly, it started for me with John Strickland, who I'd worked with on Line of Duty and In Plain Sight. And when John came to me, he knew I had a personal connection through my dad and stuff. But exactly as Emily said, just the scale of it, it feels very ambitious, you know. And filming something like that in Scotland, you know, that sort of just makes my heart sing. You know, the industry up there seems to be thriving at the minute. You know, we're getting blockbuster after blockbuster, and we've always had wonderful crews, but we've never really had the facilities to support big things. And Outlander has sort of changed the game up there. You know, I'm just chuffed with it.
I think the Neil Gaiman stuff's all shooting up in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
as well.
I think actually. Yeah. I mean, look. I know that sounds like you're saying the party line here, but Amazon really have invested up there. You know, and that's other shows straight in there, and I'm. Especially with the Rig having our first premiere in Scotland, you know, they've really put Scotland at the front and centre of it. So no, I'm delighted with that.
Yeah, I love Scotland. What did you? Because I went there. I was in Dundee last weekend. I had a battered Kit Kat. Fantastic.
See, what is it with you English people coming up and eating?
We like things that are battered that we don't batter here.
You know, nobody in Scotland's actually ever had a deep fried Mars bar. It's all
I was about to say, why didn't you tell me about deep fried Mars bar?
It's just us. Yeah.
Okay, because I did Iron Brew.
Everybody comes up and has a deep fried Kit Kat and go, those Scottish people eat deep fried Kit Kats. No, we don't.
No, I know. Did you ever? You're a tourist though. Did you eat anything?
I didn't. Well, I guess.
Deep fried pizza.
Pizza crust they call it.
Pizza crunch.
Crunch, that's all.
Pizza crunch. Yeah.
I guess I didn't get the tourist view of Scotland. I got the Martin Compston is the mayor of Scotland view. So I got Iron Brew, and that's just Iron Brew.
No, again, look, it's always. I mean, we had it off pretty quick, like even over Zoom. But it's lovely when you see somebody come over and sort of embracing the culture, you know. And Emily really got stuck in with all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, I got back. I think I got back the other day, landed back from Vegas, and you had an Iron Brew before me.
I did.
Shame. She'd won straight from the airport. I'll wait till I got home.
But did Martin make you a cup of tea at any point? Just me then.
Sure, it would have at some point.
Well, you know what? When you said that Martin had made you a cup of tea, I was like, that tracks. That's Martin. That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah. But do you think, I mean, perhaps obviously minus the quite dangerous elements, there are parallels to being out on a rig and being an actor, in a sense of that sense of camaraderie, being quite isolated, or being part of a kind of collective away from your families?
Oh my God, I totally agree. I love that you said that, because I always feel like it's like being an actor is like going away to camp, and you are in this bubble of that world, and you're suddenly instant friends with the new people you meet, but you will be going away. And if you've done it enough, you know that you have to be okay with that. And there's so many parallels to it. But especially for us doing this during COVID, we were even more kind of isolated together, and which made it easy kind of to do that story.
It is a funny job for that, because I think people could think it's quite fake, but it's not. You get these really intense bonds really quickly. I think me, you, and Ian, because one of the things were like that. But then you all go on to different jobs and you do the same thing, and then and you kind of follow each other's lives again. And then you come back, and it's like that's why the premiere stuff like it's really like a works night out, and you get to hang out with other people. But it is a strange job when you really. I mean, we shared a trailer, and it's you're like you're literally in each other's pockets, and then it's just.
You go away.
Off you go, yeah.
But then coming back feels like a real old friend where you don't have to catch up. But like there's no time has passed.
Yeah.
Because I mean the show, really sets up the kind of humanity to begin with. Because I knew nothing about it, so I was kind of thought, this is quite a gritty tale of kind of characters out on the kind of oil rig, and obviously it gets a bit supernatural. Yeah. I was wondering, was it sold to you guys as a sci-fi, or did that hit you take you by surprise?
Exactly, it was. It's exactly what you said. I wish people could see it the way I read it. John didn't give me anything else other than set on an oil rig, and your dad worked on an oil rig, and I thought hard drinking men, sort of social drama, problems at home, people drying out, and then excuse the language. By the time it gets to episode 2, I was like, what the fuck is happening here? It's wild. It's exciting that it does that. It doesn't just slap you in the face with the naturally super.
We can do our own insight. Our first interview, I was trying to describe the show because what I like about it is that it's supernatural, but it's the.
Oh, say it.
No, I'm not going to say it yet. But the science is based in reality, so it's. I said it's supernatural, but it's naturally super.
You can't pay for that kind of marketing tag, can you? This is genius.
Wow, that is good. Yeah. You mentioned John. You've got to put that on the poster. You mentioned John Strickland. I mean, you've worked with him obviously before. I mean, he's such a force in British TV. I mean, he worked obviously going all the way back to when he made Prime Suspect. He's been around a long time making great telly. When you, as actors, you need to obviously have that trust for your director. When you've got someone that experience kind of at the helm, how much does that help when you're on set?
But it's also what John's done, and you get worried on ensemble, like people can feel like they're not getting their thinking. John makes sure when you're blocking, everybody's got a say in the scene. I mean, he's got the ultimate say, and but he'll explain to you why he's doing something, but you don't feel like there's people on the periphery. It feels like everybody's involved, and he's very respectful of everybody else's job. And I think great directors or great leaders and whatever they do, they're good at delegating. They trust people who do their job, but we've got a great shorthand because I can be quite anal and I've got a lot of questions all the time, and when I know I'm going too far, I say, it's all right, Martin, I'm just going to cut to a dog having a piss. And that's when I know.
That's amazing.
Shut up, Martin.
That's amazing.
But it's I can be getting quite emotional when I'm doing it, and then I go, all right, Martin, shut it. Like I know, but he's a lovely, lovely man, and I mean, all of his.
And he has the respect of the crew in a way that I have never seen before. That he never raises his voice at all. He doesn't have to. Everybody is so just on board with him, and I feel like he made me a better actor.
And as two actors who have been in very successful TV shows that have run for years, when you sign on to a TV show, do you think of things with that potential commitment in place, or do you take it series by series?
Because I've got quite itchy feet in terms of acting life. So I mean, if you told me that this is going to be the next 5, 6, 7 years, that would make me panic. But one of the wonderful things with this, we get it in blocks, and with the events that happen and with the amount of cast, it's inevitable. Probably not all of us are going to make it, but by the time you got to 3, 4, you were like, oh please, I want to make it. You had such fun, like I'd want it. But I mean, I think there's definitely scope for a bigger world of this with David's amazing writing, but we just need to make sure the first one does all right first.
I think we were both similar though, in that I too am scared of committing to one thing because I like to do a lot of different stuff, and so with this at the beginning, it was just 6, and I think we're not going to commit, but then when we all got together, and I just remember saying to you, I'm like, I would want to do another one.
I mean, because it's fulfilling and rewarding it must be to be in a really great, successful TV show that runs years. Is there something slightly freeing when it comes to an end that allows you to then pick other roles and stuff?
Well, it's not even that. I think you're not going to get any second chances with it, so you just leave everything there, no regrets. This is going to be it, and it's done. So you don't feel, we can get to series 2 and we'll explain that better, or I'll change my performance. There is something very going, this is it, this is the only chance you're going to get, so just go at it full tilt.
And it's interesting that I really think nobody knows what's going to be a hit. Like Schitt's Creek, they originally tried to, when they went out and pitched it, they pitched it to everyone in America. Nobody wanted it. And so they did it in Canada with our Canadian broadcasting, and that's why we got 6 seasons of a show that no one was watching. And they only started watching it when we were done. We won Emmys when we didn't have jobs. So
I didn't know that's
oh yeah, we swept the Emmys in this like historical way, and me and Annie are texting like, so anyone offered you a job? Nope. And I sent back like tumbleweed. So I think you don't know, and so you've just got to love what you're doing in the moment, and I do think that's like, it's the experience of it.
We're stealing on to good parts. I've interviewed you, Annie, and Dustin all in the space of like the last 6 weeks, all for really interesting projects.
Wait,
so,
really?
yeah.
Did you interview Annie here when she was?
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
did. I know, it was great.
That's when she became obsessed with Line of Duty.
Oh, right.
Is they? I mean, talking because you obviously you said she's now a sort of a fan of Line of Duty. When you're on a
No,
set,
she's never seen it.
Oh no, Annie.
Oh, Annie. We were doing that actor thing, started going, Schitt's Creek's amazing. Line of Duty's amazing. Then we went up like, have you actually seen it? No.
That's what I was going to ask. When you're on set with people and you're on a kind of ensemble where loads of people doing such fascinating films and TV shows, is that dialogue quite open to tell people what you've seen and what you enjoy?
Not first, but also there's a nice thing of, like, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant when you work with a fan, but also having not, you could get, if I got, a bit of me was worried about watching Schitt's Creek because I went, I could get really obsessed by this, by the sounds of it, I think I'd love this, and then that gives a different curve than coming into work with Emily, because I'd be like, you know, whereas we just kind of, because we hadn't seen each other, I think we just sort of started talking on a normal level, and then no, I'd watch it with a different perspective now, like probably proud of Emily in it rather than walking in going.
I love that we didn't know each other, because it really, we very instantly bonded. And but what you, on this set in particular, I found that it didn't matter what anyone else had done. It's in the moment, in the scene. We were all so like, I think in awe of each other and supportive of each other. It was a real, for me at least, an acting environment that felt so safe and just special. Like,
because there was a lot of big personalities, but that doesn't mean not big egos.
Exactly.
You know,
there was
but people are like, it really felt like every day you had to be on your game, and it's lovely that you can get quite inspiring when you're looking around and seeing what other people are doing. You know, so it makes you get on it.
My final question, because I know, Martin, you were on the One Show yesterday or recently, and you spoke about the kind of impact Indiana Jones had on you, is that right? So I was wondering, Emily, what's your equivalent? What's the one sort of film or series or anything you watched when you were a kid that really inspired you to want to do this as a career?
I mean, the truth is, my mom took me to see Les Mis when Corey Natta was having a pool party, and I really wanted to go to the pool party. And she took me to see Les Mis, and I felt like I left the earth. I was like, I want to be Eponine. I got that hat. I started dressing like the whatever, and it was that. So it wasn't really a TV show. But then also Pretty Woman was, I'm really dating myself. That was a movie that, I mean, every year for Halloween I was a prostitute. And also in Canada, you know, you had to, my mom would make me wear a snowsuit under my costume. And I'm like, Mom, this is completely ruined. So, but yeah, Pretty Woman.
That's the most Canadian thing. You had to wear a snowsuit
under my prostitute costume.
Did you have an Indiana Jones costume, Martin?
You know what? I did.
A whip. If you had a whip and she was like a Pretty Woman, you could have gone as a pair.
What a duel we would have been.
Wow.
My mum, because you know that way your mum tells a story and you just sort of blanked out and went, oh yeah, he was running about his height and he wouldn't answer to any other name but Indy. And I went, no, but you're like, Mum, you're going a bit far, and then she pulls out this picture and you just go, oh fuck, it's me with my hat, my dad's leather jacket, my whip. And it's like, and the coat's bigger than me, you can't see me under the hat, and it's like it all came flooding back. But I mean, it's still, I mean, it's sort of the geologist James Bond kind of thing, because I love all that kind of history. That's what I love about it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, you another cuppa, man.
Cheers. I know. Thank you so much. Cheers. Take care, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!